So yes, they do have truth in their scripture when that verse was revealed.
Yeah.
So
That's
we
what I
don't
was saying,
deny
brother.
that.
I just didn't say
So
anything
why
about
are we saying,
Muhammad.
oh, there's not truth, this, that, this? Okay,
I
we
didn't say that there wasn't truth. I said, bro, confirming doesn't mean that it's saying this is correct or otherwise. It doesn't mean
really
that.
what confirm me.
It's saying, okay, someone's saying that they have the Injil. Okay, great. I confirm that. Yep, it's confirming that. Exactly. So I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Now I get it. So what GodLogic is saying, guys, is that the corruption and the distortion and the lies is only by mouth. The actual text is preserved. Okay, great.
It's God. It's God.
If that's the case, please provide me with the Torah. Where is it?
We have it.
Where?
Where's the original manuscript?
We read out of it all the time.
Okay,
And
cool.
especially since since Muhammad believed in the Torah that existed in his time, we have the Torah that existed before Muhammad's time.
That hadith.
No.
Don't just forget about the hadith for a second. Just forget about the hadith. Just forget about the hadith. For a
Yeah,
minute.
I'm not even thinking about the hadith. I'm talking about the Quran. According to the
Quran
Quran,
itself,
Muhammad believed in the Torah that existed during his time.
the Quran says, "Woe to those who write out the scriptures with their own hands, and then in order making a
Try to
trifling
sell it
gain.
for a small price. Yeah.
Yeah, try to sell it for a small price." So here, it's saying that they have corrupted it with their own hands. Woe to those who write out the scriptures with their own hands and then claim to be from God.
No. So if you read the tafsir on that, Ibn Kathir, he quotes Ibn Abbas and what Ibn Abbas says on that, and how Ibn Abbas says that they distort the book. How? By writing another book, right? Which we all know to be the Talmud.
Right, the
They
Bible
believe-
is another book.
No, the Bible is the book.
Okay,
The
I'm going to show
Talmud
you
is
it's another book.
book.
I'm going to show you it's another book right now. Can I do that?
Fair enough.
So this is what we're doing, guys. We have in the Torah, in the Quran, the
Hey, so-
Torah and the gospel that existed during Muhammad's time. Muhammad believed in it. So if you want to show me that my Bible is corrupted, then you're saying that the Torah and the gospel that Muhammad believed in and trusted is corrupted. It's as
Okay.
simple as that.
Okay, sure.
And Allah's words are changed.
Okay,
So
that's
the
fine.
Quran
So
is false.
Isaiah 9:6. For a child has been born for us, or to us, depending on the I don't know. It doesn't matter. For
That's
a child
okay,
has this is verse 6, by the way. For a child has been born for us, a son has been given to us, and a dominion will be on his shoulders, and his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Would you agree?
Mhm.
Hey, so I'm gonna get going, inshallah. Yeah, nice
no.
catching up with you again.
Nice to meet you,
No,
man.
hang
to meet you,
on,
GodLogic.
Adam,
Oh,
one second, so you can
okay,
see
go
this.
for gold.
So you
Okay.
can see what I'm talking about here. So this is
Go for
what
gold.
the Christian Bible says. The
Yep.
Christian Bible. Let's go to the Jewish rendition of this text. For a child has been born to us, a son given to us, the authority is upon his shoulder, and a wondrous advisor, the mighty God, the everlasting Father, called his name the Prince of Peace. Which one is right?
Yeah.
Mm.
So what you're reading is an interpretation, man, not a translation.
Okay. So this here gives the impression that this son, this child that is going to be born, that he will be called all these words right here.
Yeah,
Wonderful Counselor.
That's what
Hang on. Let me get my point off.
Okay,
Hang
go
on.
ahead.
Called the Wondrous Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Right? Christians use this to say, see, Jesus is the Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Therefore, he's God. I'm like, okay, but this is what the Hebrew says. Right? This is the Jewish Bible. The Jewish Bible doesn't say that. It says that God will call this son the Prince of Peace.
Okay. So again, you're looking at an interpretation, not a translation. If we go to the Hebrew and we actually look at the word for word translation, you would see that it's exactly how you just saw it in Isaiah 9:6, not in the Christian Bible, but actually just in the Tanakh period. So
you're saying there's
want,
no
I can pull it up
differences
for you.
in the actual manuscripts?
No.
None. Okay. Well, whatever. That's fine.
Not there. So
Okay. So would you say
I don't have a problem with textual variants though. That
okay,
don't change.
hang on a second. Right, that's fine. So Isaiah 9:6 in the Christian Bible gives the impression that Jesus is God, right? This is what the Christians go to. Oh, look at Isaiah 9:6. This is why I have this highlighted, because Christians have brought it up so many times. But then when I look at the English or the Jewish rendering of the Hebrew here, this makes more sense, right? I would accept this over this.
Of
But
course you would.
regardless, which one is right?
Okay. Let's
Who's to
actually
say that?
let's go to
Hang
the
on?
Hebrew.
Who's to say that the Hebrew doesn't actually say this here, not this here?
Well, let's go to the Hebrew and see. Let's go to the Hebrew and see. And that's the
But that's what
only
I'm
way to
saying.
tell.
If I go to the Hebrew, and matter of fact, I'll do it. Whatever. Bible Hub. You good with Bible Hub?
Yeah, I'm on Bible Hub right now.
All right. Isaiah 9:6. Hebrew or the interlinear?
You go to the interlinear
Why?
because that's the Hebrew and it gives us the word for word breakdown.
Sure. Okay. Let's see. For a child is born unto us, a son is given unto us, and will be the government upon his shoulders, and will be called his name, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Hebrew breaks it down and says that he will be called these names. What you read in the Jewish was a interpretation more so, not a.
So then this would be the
revelation.
proper understanding, not
Not
this.
Right. This is the proper understanding right here. His name will be.
I like that you're doing this though. This is great. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not really good with like textual criticism and looking at the text here and there,
It's all
but
good.
trust me, this nowhere in the Bible does it say that anybody will be called God apart from God, or that they will be God.
Well, Jesus,
Right?
It says that about the Messiah.
Really?
Yeah, it says it right here about the Messiah, man.
But this isn't speaking about the Messiah. This is speaking about Hezekiah. What are you talking about?
Read the next verse. It tells you. Scroll down.
Yeah,
to
we can go
verse
to we can
7.
go to the next verse, bro. We can go to the next verse. Let's see here. A word sent Yahweh Jacob against.
No, that's verse 8, verse 7, verse 7.
Verse 7. Oh, verse 7. I don't know why I did that. Let's see. Of the increase of his government and peace, there will be no end upon the throne of David and over his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and justice, from that time forward and even forever. The zeal of Yahweh of hosts will perform this. Yeah, this is talking about Hezekiah.
talking about
This does not mean
Messiah.
Jesus.
Hezekiah died. Hezekiah died. He died off. His rule was not forever.
Okay. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is
I'm not
talking
going to
about
talk about this anymore because I don't really know
Oh,
about
come
this.
on.
No.
come on.
Because you
brought
see,
this up.
look, if you're asking me to talk about, so you want me to talk about something that I don't know?
No. Well,
Because
you
you
brought
would,
this up.
because
Issa,
you would
listen.
hang
I got
hang
I got
on, bro. Relax.
Go ahead.
Because you would be trying to do what? You'd be trying to bully me. I don't
No, of
know.
course not.
If I don't know, I don't know. So I
okay.
just know that this has nothing to do with the Messiah. Have other people been called? Okay.
Can I tell you? I'm not trying to bully you. Let me just.
No,
let me
not
tell
bullying
you.
me, but you're trying to take advantage. That's
I'm
a way of
not,
trying to take
brother.
advantage.
I'm
Hang on.
not.
Why? What does Israel mean? Or not Israel?
What?
Isaac.
Okay.
What does Isaac mean? Please.
I don't remember what the name. Oh, laughs.
It means God contends.
Laughter.
No, God contends.
Isaac?
Yes.
Or no. If you're talking about Israel, it means Israel is one that contends with God or struggles with God. Not Isaac. Isaac means laughter. The one who laughs. Or the one who made me laugh. But
Isaac, bro,
yeah. You meant Israel.
Yeah, sorry, Israel. Right. So Israel is he God because his name is Israel? God contends. Is God contending? Yes, this is the point because they're hard-headed. They're hypocrites, right? And then you have Ishmael, which means what? God hears. Would you agree?
Yes.
Right. So if it means God hears, does that mean that God is like hearing Israel
hears.
or?
It means God hears.
Right.
So,
but does that mean he's God or something like this?
So no. So notice how the person is not called the God who contends or the God who hears. Their name just means God hears. one who contends with God, right? One who struggles with God. That's what these terms mean, right? And the difference here is that the Messiah here, the Son to be born, is literally called the mighty God and is called the everlasting Father, right? So that's the huge difference here. Now, this is how you know it's messianic, Isa. How you know it's messianic is verse 7, how it talks about how his reign will be forever on the throne of David, ruling with justice and peace forever. His kingdom will come to no end. That is about the Messiah. Okay. That's not about Hezekiah or any other prophet that came before or ruler that came before, because their kingdom ended. The Messiah is the one who rules on the throne of David forever. And that in the New Testament backs this up too.
Okay, so is Jesus ruling?
He will come back and rule. Even you as a Muslim believes.
But wait. From that time, this son that's born, right? Speaking from Jesus, then he should rule from the time that he was born forever.
No, it doesn't say that he will be ruling from the time that
he was born. They said the government will be upon his shoulder.
Yeah, it will be. That's a future tense. So when that time comes, which is when he comes back, he will establish his government and establish justice and peace on the earth. That's when that will happen. So this is a clear verse that identifies Jesus, the Messiah, to be God.
Okay, give me 1 second.
And remember, I didn't bring this up.
No, I know you didn't bring it. I brought it up. Give me 1 second, bro.
Yeah. You should come on the stream, man.
What stream?
My stream. I stream every Tuesday. I open the panel like this, like how you do.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Inshallah, maybe one day, bro. It's just I got my baby, bro, and I'll be doing all kinds of stuff, man. So we'll see though. Awliya.
Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
What's up, brother?
Yeah, just here, man. Yeah, so part of the discussion regarding the Torah that was there at the time of Medina, yeah? Okay. So if we say the Jews at the time were commanded to uphold the Torah, the context, for example, certain rulings, such as stoning of the adulterer, at the time, the Jews had left. They'd left that ruling, even though they knew they were supposed to apply it, because it was very clear that it was in the Torah. Now, what did it mean by upholding the Torah at the time? It meant go back to the rulings which are in the Torah and implement them.
Beautiful.
Just like you've left them. And then what did it was narrated that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, I am the first to give life to the ruling of Allah after it has been left. Why? Because we believe that stoning was the ruling of the adulterer. Just like the Jews should have believed that. Just like you should believe that today. Do you believe that today?
It was part of the Torah, yeah. It was a law.
Oh, okay, but you believe in the Torah, don't you?
It was during when it was
GodLogic.
When it was lawful, yeah.
So you believe it was part of the Torah, right?
It is part of the Torah. It's still there.
Right. And so you believe in that. You believe that should be upheld today, don't you?
Well, no, because Jesus fulfilled the law. He completed it. So.
Whoa.
The law of the gospel now, the law of faith. Because Jesus fulfilled the law.
Like sorry, I just kind of caught there. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what just happened.
But yeah, I was agreeing with what he was saying, that the that the Quran even affirms the rulings that's in the Torah, right? And those don't have anything to do with Muhammad being prophesied in it, But it's the rulings that's in the Torah that they should uphold and follow. I agree 100% with that.
Yeah, but they have to also believe in the Quran and adhere
I
to
agree.
it and believe the Prophet Muhammad.
I agree. They're supposed to be, all of them, including the Muslims as well. Everybody is supposed to believe in all of the scriptures that's revealed. The Torah, the gospel, the Psalms.
So why don't you?
Well, I don't believe in
Yeah, so why don't you?
the Quran. I'm just talking about
But
guys.
but then
I'm just let me answer this.
Hang on,
That's
hang
a
on.
good,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a good question.
let him finish saying what he's
I'm
saying.
trying to
he just
I'm
he
being
just exposed himself.
Hang on,
He
hang
just
on, hang
exposed
on, brother.
himself.
Hang on. Just let him finish.
so
Okay,
I'm not saying that as a truth statement. I'm saying what the Quran says. Obviously, I don't believe in the Quran as the word of God, right? I'm just being
Mhm.
consistent with what the Quran teaches. So I'm saying that the
right.
Quran teaches that
Hmm.
everybody is supposed to believe in all of the revelations that Allah has sent down. Torah, Psalms, Gospel, and
Quran.
all of it, including the
Okay.
Quran. Yes.
So why would you not do that?
Because very good question. Because when I then go ahead and examine the Torah and the gospel like it tells me to do, and I uphold it like it tells me to do, it shows me that the Quran is false if I judge by it.
But
It
that's not
contradicts, let
true,
me
right?
finish and I'll let you go.
Uh,
It contradicts what the
Sorry.
prophets taught, it contradicts the message, and it goes against it. Therefore, the Quran cannot be true.
You're just saying anything. Look, here's the thing, yeah. If you acknowledge certain verses such as upholding the Torah, upholding the Psalms, right, this all makes sense to you, right?
So again,
Yeah, but this
look,
all does it make sense to you as a Christian to uphold the Torah?
of course, but this is
Okay.
what I'm
Now,
saying.
as a
Ollie,
Muslim, in
I don't want you to get, I don't
oh,
want you to misconstrue my point.
okay,
Listen. I don't, without the Quran, I uphold the Torah and the gospel, right? I don't need the Quran to tell me that, but I'm just doing an internal critique, right? I'm just talking about what the Quran says about itself and
okay,
about its revelations.
okay,
That's
cool.
all I'm doing,
Let's examine that. So the Jews at the time were not upholding the Torah, right? According to us, yeah.
according to the Quran. Yeah.
According to us, yeah. According to us, yeah.
Mhm.
Because they were not stoning the adulterer.
Yeah, they were
Now,
lying about the scriptures. They were distorting it. They were being
right?
hypocrites. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, why or how or from where is the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam getting the information to tell them to stone the adulterer?
Well, according to the narration, he brought someone who brought the Torah and read the ruling on that.
Right. And what did they do? They hid the verse, right?
They tried to, yeah.
Okay, good. And then who exposed it?
The Jews
Right.
themselves, because he told them
Because
to go read
yeah,
ahead.
because the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam could not read.
Yeah. Mhm.
So where are you honestly thinking these verses in the Quran are coming from to inform the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to tell them to uphold the Torah when he
He
can't
had,
read it?
yeah, he had Jews around them, man.
So the
Look,
Jews are telling the Arab prophet to tell the Jews to uphold the Torah. That's what you believe.
no, so this what I'm saying. So Muhammad was around the Jews and the Christians,
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
and there's actually hadiths that say that the Jews used to recite the Torah in the Hebrew and the Arabic and teach it. They used to the Muslims and to Muhammad that was around them. And
Mm-hmm.
so Muhammad is hearing about the Torah,
Sallallahu
he's
Alaihi
getting
Wasallam.
these lessons and these stories, right? And him believing that he is a prophet that
Mm-hmm.
comes from, like, he's on the same team as them. He's telling them to believe in your books,
Right.
and you
And the
should
do
believe in
okay.
your books
Let me
because
tell you, let me tell you what the Jews did, okay? The
okay,
Jews came to the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam trying to trip him up.
I agree.
Okay, trying to trip him up
Yeah,
because they knew he was a true prophet, as we've said, musaddiqan lima ma'akum,
yeah,
confirming what is with you, believing what is with you. They knew he was a prophet, but out of their arrogance, okay, they still wanted to try and trip up the true prophet.
okay,
Okay, so then they would come to him and say, "Do you know what? What's the ruling on these two adulterers from our people?" And if he had said it wasn't stoning, okay, then they would have made a big thing about it, okay? But because he said it was stoning, they said, out of their arrogance, we'd already left the Torah when it told us to stone. So why on earth would we listen to you? See, it's for them. They disbelieve either way. So the point here is that the only reason those verses came, the context of revelation, okay, of those verses regarding the ruling of the stoning of the adulterer, were that they came to try trip up the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, and he brought back the ruling according to what the Torah had originally had.
Mentioned. Yeah.
Right. So this, this can be discussed. I mean, but I don't see how, why you 1,000 years later, okay, having a book which is not in the original language anymore. It's not even in the language that was at the time of Medina, for example. They had the Torah, okay, then, okay. The Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was there. He was witnessing it. The
Yeah,
verses were being revealed at the time,
yeah.
confirming certain situations. You, a thousand four hundred
Situation.
years later, after all of these events and these councils, distortions and translations of translations into, what certainty are you living upon? Honestly,
Yeah.
what do you think?
So I'm just addressing this Muslim claim. Okay,
Right.
this is what I'm addressing. According to the Quran, the Torah and the Gospel was there intact during the time of Muhammad, and everyone should believe in them and the Quran. Okay, that's what the Quran teaches. You can't get around that.
What the
Now,
Quran teaches is okay. Look,
one second.
let me just
No,
let me
no,
just
no,
let's
let
try
me
get on the
please,
same
please.
wording.
I
No,
listen. I
we
listen
need,
very patiently.
yeah,
Please,
but we want to make sure we understand each other, right? Because I
Just
want.
let him say what he's gonna say, inshallah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
understood everything you said, my man. This is why I'm breaking down this response to you. So this is where the issue comes from because you're asking, what do I stand on? I'm standing on since I'm talking to Muslims on what the Quran claims and what you have to uphold because you have to uphold the Quran. If the Torah and the Gospel was corrupted, right? That would mean that number one, Allah's words could be changed, and the Quran lied about that, or Allah confirmed a corrupted book, and Allah sent Muhammad to believe in a corrupted book when he had doubts. This is what the weight that your accusation holds when you try to say that the Bible, the Torah, the Gospel, the Psalms, and the prophets have been corrupted and tampered with. You're saying that Allah did not protect his books like he says he would, and that Allah sent Muhammad to believe in a corrupted book.
Oh
That
no.
makes no sense.
Okay, look. So one thing you did mention earlier, okay, was the narration about Ibn Abbas, yeah? Ibn Abbas, the cousin of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam,
Mhm.
who the Prophet made supplication for him that
Yeah,
that he would be granted the understanding of the Quran, yeah? So
wisdom.
right, okay, good. Now, what has been mentioned, okay, is that فَوَيْلٌ لِلَّذِينَ يَكْتُبُونَ الْكِتَابَ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ. So woe to those who write the scripture with their own hands. ثُمَّ, okay, and then they say, this is from Allah. Okay. Now you mentioned a narration, something about this thing that they were writing was separate from the Torah. Yeah.
Yeah, he said they wrote another book.
Right. Yeah, okay. Now there are narrations, okay, where, for example, the Jews in the pre-prophethood, okay, in Medina, they would argue with the Arabs, etc., regarding who's more virtuous, because they thought the Prophet would come from their lineage, etc. But then he ended up coming from the Arabs. Okay, but before that, they would do things like this. So because they were the literate ones, and the Arabs were the illiterate ones, mm, yes, so they would have like a upper hand in terms of education and academics and prophethood and stories of prophets. Okay, so what they would do is sometimes they would just write something, da 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 da, da, and go to other Jews which were maybe more illiterate than them, and say that, oh look, here's something, and they would profit from that. They would profit from that. So yeah, we don't necessarily have to say that that was the Torah. Yes, but what they have done is they've claimed that they've got something which is from God, which is from Allah, which was not. So Allah condemned them for doing that. So look, this aspect of the Torah being corrupted, I don't necessarily use or go into these types of wordings because I stick to the tafsir. Okay, what I say is today you don't have the Torah. Today You don't have the gospel from what we know of it, simply because you don't have it in its original language.
What,
Simply,
what
sim.
was the language of the Torah?
So, okay, I don't have absolute knowledge of this, but it would be from the obviously the Semitic languages.
It was in the
Okay,
Hebrew. It was in the
right.
Hebrew, brother.
Okay, so it's a Semitic
We
language.
have it in the Hebrew.
Okay, now look, this Hebrew. So if I've not gone into this whole sort of
Check out
preservation,
the
yeah.
Dead Sea Scrolls.
But
Check out
what?
the Dead
Okay,
Sea Scrolls
yeah, but okay,
and the
fine.
Masoretic text.
Fine, but the Sea Scrolls, okay, let's say I've heard something. I'm not, like I said, I'm not expert in this, but let me just try follow your logic for a moment, yeah?
Okay.
Were found, let's say, was it a few hundred years? I mean, they've been dated back how many hundred years after, was it Moses?
So the Dead Sea Scrolls uh are copies that date a long time after Moses, but they date 200 years before Jesus.
Okay, let me say this, yeah? I'm gonna say something. Let me say, for argument's sake, I'm not affirming this with absolute certainty. For argument's sake, that is scripture that you have
Yeah.
there, okay? Now, in from our point of view, even if that's the case, yeah. So even if I affirm that,
Mhm.
for me, that does not help you because you don't believe in the final revelation.
Okay. And so now, awesome. Let me tell you the reason why I don't believe in the final revelation is because what you guys claim to be the final revelation contradicts the previous revelation.
No, but it
So that
doesn't. You just
that's why I don't accept it, my friend.
but,
That's the biggest thing for me.
okay. So you're saying, for example, the Dead Sea Scrolls. Yeah, let's use that as an example. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're saying you've gone through the Dead Sea Scrolls, for example, and you found something that's contradicted the Quran. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, in the Torah that we have today, the Dead Sea Scrolls contradicts the Quran.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay. Look, like I said, even if I said hypothetically, we say that perhaps maybe you've got scripture with you. For us, it doesn't make a difference in terms of your blasphemy, your disbelief, because for us, anyone who disbelieves in some prophets and believes in others, this is just pure disbelief. For us, the absolute proofs of the Prophet Muhammad SAW being a prophet are overwhelming. They're not even disputable. It's clear. It's so clear, and you're only accepting what is in line with your desire.
No,
Because your
sir.
desire, yes, your desire is telling you, look, I'm going to accept. I only want to be a Christian. Okay, I only want to follow the Torah or the Bible. I only want to be upon this, even if
I want to be
even
on truth, my friend. I'm on
yeah,
truth. So
no, you're
it's not about my only desire is to follow the truth. This is
that's not
why I reject the Quran because it's not on the truth. It does so like my biggest thing is prophecy. That's my hugest. I literally cannot, you know, reasonably
right.
reject when God speaks in the past and it happens in the future and you
Look,
cannot deny it. I can't go against that. So when God has done that in the Torah that we have,
mm,
and the Tanakh that we have, and the scriptures that we have, I can't
mhm.
deny it. I have to go with it.
Look, if you believe, okay, in whatever, I don't know.
Can I give you an example? Oh, you probably accidentally pushed the back button again.
Yeah, yeah. He probably did. It's all good. Let me.
It's okay. It's 2:30 a.m. for me. My eyes are getting heavy. These lights are killing me. But thank you again, Issa, for oh there he is.
Yeah.
I was just wrapping up Aliyah, but listen, if
Yeah.
I host I host a stream every Tuesday where I invite Muslims to come and talk just like this, cool and chill. You know, and you can see I'll be a fair host. You can check out some of my other streams. I promise I'm cool. You guys, me and Khalil get along very well. So please, man, you're more than welcome. Issa as well. I told him earlier.
Yeah.
You guys are more than welcome to come on the stream and join me for a conversation, whatever topic. And I can show you why I believe like in the scriptures I believe, Ali. I would love to continue this conversation with you, bro.
Inshallah. You believe?
Yeah, I
Do you
mean,
take understanding from the Jews?
Do I take an understanding from the Jews?
Yeah, about the Torah and things like this.
They're not my authority. The church fathers are my authority, but
Right, but why? Why, if you believe the Torah is part of God's word, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you believe Jews when they speak about it?
Well,
And who's
Hang on,
translating the
brother.
Hebrew
Hang on,
as
hang
well?
on. Why wouldn't you believe the Jews? You know,
Yeah,
when they
as long as the Jews are correct, I have no problem with what they break down and what they say. But when they are not correct, then I reject them. So like when they say stuff like Jesus is not the Messiah, I have no reason to trust them. When they deny him and the clear scriptures that speak of him. So they're not my authority, but I have no problem like checking, like examining what they say and to see if it's true or not.
Yeah, because Rabbi Tovia Singer, he talks about a bunch of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe him, even though it's their book.
Of course,
It's their
of course.
language.
He's a joke. He literally lies all the time. Have you seen his discussion with Dr. Michael Brown?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh man, so Dr. Michael Brown, he's a Jew, but he's also a Christian, and he absolutely obliterates that dude on all of his claims, every single one, bro. So check that out. Check out their discussion.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
Back and forth.
I'll look at it. I mean, I guess the same thing could be said, right? Like we don't believe that any man is divine, but the Christians would believe this.
We
right? You
believe
believe Jesus is divine. So
God.
how can we trust the Christians and what they say?
We just believe in the scriptures that tell us that the son to be born is divine. So it's God who comes and is born as a son. Not backwards. Not man becoming God, but God takes on human form. So
God takes on human form, bro. It's just it's hard, bro. It's hard for me to believe, man. I mean, you can look at Chronicles, David in Second Chronicles, when he talks about, I think in Second Chronicles chapter 6 verse 18, says, "Does God really dwell with man on earth?" And then he says, "The heavens and the highest heavens can't contain him. How much less this house I've built?" But does God have baby gods? Jesus himself says that there's only one God, the Father.
So a lot of people use Solomon's prayer of adoration as as something to go against this idea that God can come and dwell in his own creation. Literally, in the verses prior, the verses say how God comes down and enters the house, enters the temple. Like, so
are you talking about Second Chronicles?
Yes, I believe that's Second Chronicles, where Solomon builds the temple and lifts up that prayer, talking about how, man, how can you live in this house? Not even the heavens and the earth can contain you, that type of thing. It's definitely, it's a prayer of adoration. It's, you're so amazing. Nothing can contain you. How little is this house compared to the heavens that they can't contain you? You're God, you're infinite, you're big. Yet in the verses prior and after, you see God come down and dwell in the temple, makes it and places his presence there at the temple. So
where's the verses after?
Say that again.
The verses after, what does it say?
I would have to take
which verse, which verse in particular?
Well, I don't remember exactly. I'll have to look it up again. But the verses, right when Solomon is giving his prayer, before he starts praying, God enters the temple. His glory sets in the temple. And that's what, prompts Solomon to let out that prayer.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm tired out, guys, honestly.
It's all good, bro. We'll talk some other time, bro.
Thanks for letting me on again, man. God bless you.
You already know.
Take care.
Peace.
Oh my God. Logic.